Hello, Corrine here. It's Tuesday now, so it's time for my Technique Tuesday, Corrine's Technique Tuesday. Today's card, it covers two things. It covers Technique Tuesday, so it's all about using your alcohol pens on vellum to create this gorgeous background, which we then put a die cut over the top. But it's also the second project, I don't normally do two so quickly, using my colour challenge for June. Look at the colours and then look at the project. There we go. Look, it's just like those leaves, isn't it? Oh, I love it. Love how you can see how I've taken the inspiration and created the project. So if you want to see how I made this, then stay tuned. Don't forget to tune into yesterday's video because that is all about, I'll talk you through my colour challenge. But I'd love to see what you can make in this colour combination. It would be lovely to see if I got the right way up. Yep, in this colour combination, and then pop your posts onto my Facebook post. So yes, if you watched yesterday, you'll have seen how I made that card. If you watch today, we're going to make that card. Two for one. So yeah, I'd love to see it. Let's keep watching and see how it's made. Wow, this is a little bit exciting to be doing two projects under the banner of my monthly colour challenge on 2 consecutive days is really exciting. But I looked at these colours and I had so many ideas running through my mind. So I'm going to do it's Technique Tuesday today, Corrine's Technique Tuesday. So I'm still going to do a Technique Tuesday, but I'm going to use these colours. So I've got 3 pens here. I've got cranberry, I've got orange, and I've got true blue, which I think are a really good hit for those colours, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. So for anybody who doesn't know, my monthly colour challenge is something I do on the first Monday of every month. So yes, today's Tuesday, but I launched it yesterday, Monday. And what I challenge you to do is to create a project, any project you want, papercraft, mixed media, scrapbooking, journaling, soft crafts of fabrics, anything you want, absolutely anything, but use this colour combination. Isn't that picture glorious? I just think it's a gorgeous combination. 2 burgundies, 2 blues, and a lovely orange. So this is my challenge today. I'm doing a second project in that. So what we're going to do today is take it back a step. I've done a few projects for you using alcohol inks in bottles, and we've done the alcohol inks and we've sort of made them react, and we've worked on UPO and things. And I even did one on vellum. What I'm going to do today is, because you know my theory is I like us to try and use things we've got in our craft stash. Now, the alcohol that you get in the little bottles is the same as the alcohol you get in your pens, because you get the alcohol refill bottles, don't you? So whatever you do with your alcohol bottles, the ink in your alcohol bottles, could you not do it with your alcohol pens? That was my train of thought. So if this is the same ink as in the bottles, that means I can do the same techniques with these as I can with the inks in the bottles. I hope that makes sense. Oh, and by the way, anybody watching, I found my poke tool. It was just on the other side of my craft room. So what I've got is I've got a piece of vellum, as I said, and it's 3 inches wide, and I've got a piece of card 3 inches wide, and I'm going to wrap it round. So the easiest way to wrap it round is it's going to sit on there, make sure it's nice and straight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a score line down there and then fold that over. It's always easier. I like to have my score lines in first because it shows me where I need to concentrate my colour. Then this is going to go around that way, making sure it's lined up. And then I'm going to get my poke tool, score tool, sorry, and score down there. Or a poke tool would have done it. And then I'm going to score on that line there. So I know I've tried it where I've got, oh yeah, my piece of white card is 6.5 inches. So if I score at 6.5 inches on my vellum, it'll work. But it doesn't, because you have the bit, can you see, where it bends at either end. So this is just by far the easiest way. You know your vellum is going to wrap around your card. So I'm going to take it off my card for now, and I'm going to open it back out. We are going to do those in a minute. Now, the other thing you need is your isopropanol alcohol. So I've got this. This is a new one for me. Before, I've always had my alcohol blending solution, which is very, very similar. This one I just think is not quite as strong as your isopropanol. So if you are going to use it, whether you're using your blending solution or you're using your isopropanol, please do it with an open window. I'm here. Ooh, there we are, and my window is just over there, so I've got plenty of fresh air circulating. Now that's a big bottle, it's 1 litre, which is harder to work with. So what I've done is I've decanted it, I've labelled it. Make sure you label it very clearly, you don't want anyone thinking this is water, and I've labelled it very clearly, and I put it in a bottle. I put it in the bottle with a dropper, which I've cleaned out, and that was the easiest way to get it into the bottle. What I'm also going to do is get myself a piece of kitchen towel, because I'm going to work on that, because it could run off. So I'm going to work logically, and I'm going to start with my lighter colour. So I'm only ever going to use the mid colour in this orange. So I'm going to scribble on, this is onto the front, by the way, scribble on some of my ink. So remember, this is exactly the same ink as what's in your bottles. I believe it is anyway. So doesn't move that, and it dries quite quickly. But if you get your isopropanol or your pure alcohol and then you squirt, can you see straight away it moves? So I'm not going to do anything more than move it with my heat gun. Now please, I've got 2 heat settings on this. If you've got one of those little heat guns that's the wide ones that looks more like a hairdryer, that'd be even better for this, because it's really gentle. So look at this is blended into each other. But because of the alcohol that I've sprayed, this will dry really, really quick, because it evaporates. So you might want to go in a couple of times with the colour. Now, every time you put it on, it really lightens. So be prepared to go in with a couple of layers. It's not a problem. So I'm just chasing the alcohol. And I think that is half the fun, is getting those pretty shape colours. So there we go, I've got some on there, and I'm just going to come back in. Oh, what do I do with that one? I wanted it on that one. Go in with that one, and a bit more on there. I can even go a little bit more, and I'll probably come back in with some orange in a minute. So that original alcohol is evaporated, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more, and then I'm going to heat spray it. Can you see we're getting shades, we're getting lines, we're getting lots of different things. If when you get to the edges, if it starts to run a little bit, you don't want to just blot it, it will blot very, very easily. Oh, and I've gone up to too high heat. Now, if you go too high heat, you're just going to blow it around like that was doing. And also, you're going to cockle your vellum. You're going to make it bend. Oh, let's get that window open a bit more. Right, so next one I'm going to go in with my blue. And let's put some in, so just random spots with the blue, because remember, it's going to run so much anyway. So don't be worried about that. Let's go down here. So I'm going right to the edges. And I'm also sort of thinking about where my colours are going to go, just a little bit. So let's spray a little bit of that. Just remember, you could create, my heat gun goes on to heat 2 very quickly. You could create muddy bits. So if you think you're starting to get a bit muddy bits, then just blot them to keep them apart. But actually, half of the fun is to see the colours you can create. Just going to blow that way. So where it's going with the orange, it's picking up the yellow tones from the orange and creating quite a green. But please, please do this with an open window, because it really does get it can create quite a lot of fumes. So that's all I'll just say to you. I like that blue, isn't that lovely? Oops, wrong way on the heat gun. I'm just going to put in a little bit more. Don't worry about it being pale, because it will look really good when it's finished. Just add in a little bit more, a little spray. The finer mist you can get, the better, I think. That spray bottle sprays quite a lot. I think if I could get one that was really gentle spray, it would work a lot even better. But look at that now, look at that. I'm not changing the colours like I sometimes do with the inks in a bottle, because these are already, they've got a level of alcohol in them, haven't they, to change the, to get the shades. But it still works brilliantly. I'm going to come in now with my burgundy. I'm just going to where there's gaps. I think I might put some more orange up in that top. Remember, I want to go right to the very edges, because this is what's going to make it look so good. And then we can spray again. I did find the red doesn't move as easily. Oops. So let's just, you see the red, it does move, but it's not as easy to make it move. It marks, but I guess that's, look at this, where the colours are now all coming together. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now, I've ended up with a little bit of a pale bit there where a bit too much of the alcohol has come in. So actually I could go in with, I'm going to do some orangey bits next. Let's see if I can get a bit of my orange in here. It's building up layers. It really is so much fun. I'm just going to want that right to the edge. There we go. Don't worry about, I wouldn't lay the colours down too much over one another, but don't worry about them overlapping when you're doing your colouring. You're moving them, but just try and make sure everything's covered. And let's just have a little bit of, this is one of those, until it's finished, you think, where is this going? What have I done there? Right, okay. So if you've got a bit that's running and like that's going a bit brown muddy, so I can just pin that off. But what I like is to get the different like puddles of it and different layers. I was going to speed all this up, but I haven't. I've enjoyed showing you. So I've got all of those. So you just keep working on those until you've got them. So you can keep going back in and adding more layers, more colours, and then I can bend that back down and score it and then score it. So it doesn't look too much until you put, as soon as you put your white card underneath, look at how, oops, let me just show you. Don't those colours pop now? It just needs the white underneath. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now that's a little bit damp. So I'm going to show you this one where I've just built up the colours a little bit more. And maybe it's the same ones, same things, but different colours have come out a bit more. And then we can put that in there. Isn't that gorgeous? I am loving that. Absolutely beautiful. So that is just alcohol pens with your isopropanol, get that right, so your alcohol, and then we put that on there. So now we've got that on there, wrap that round. We don't need to worry about adhesive, because what we can do is we can just pop some tape on the back of there like that, and some tape on the back of there, because we know it's fitting perfectly. Make sure it's lined up just right, and on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this so simple. I'm going to mat and layer this onto some black. So I'm just going to pop that tape off here. If I can get it off. There we go. Then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of my Corrine glue. And I'm just going to put that down there. So that tape was holding my vellum to my white card, and then this will now fit, and this is a really thin layer. Don't catch. I want it to go just there to, that looks about right. There we go. Let me just get a cloth so I can give that a good, and I love the fact that this isn't actually, look at this, this isn't actually attached, look, on the front, which gives it another sort of dimension. But how beautiful is that? You might get mucky fingers, but don't worry about that. So the next thing I'm going to do, like I say, I'm going to keep this really, really simple. I've got a white card, I've got some black card and some white card. This white card is just multi-purpose card, really, really nothing fancy on there, and just your regular black card. So that's going to go onto here. Nice little border around there. I started with a card base from an 8x8 envelope. So they're not quite 8x8. I think they're like 7 7/8, so that they will fit in a 7 in an 8-inch envelope. That's where I get mine. I get them from Lime Tree Crafts, and they come unfolded, so I can create whatever shape I like. So that's where I started from. And that's going to pop onto there. Now, the easy one to do would go in the middle. I didn't want this in the middle, and I'm not even adding any height. I'm going to pop that over to one side, very slightly, enough that it doesn't look like it's slipped from the centre. That's what you've got to be really careful of. So you're going to put it far enough over, but not too much. And then pop that one on there. So that is my card base. Now I wanted to keep, again, like I said, keep it really simple. So I had a look in my dies, and I'd got these sort of outline dies. This one's the anemone, and I've cut it 3 times in white card. But look at that, can you see? I've stuck them together. Look, it's just like chipboard, and that's going to go across there, up from the bottom. So let's turn this over, and I'm going to get my dotty tape pen. I'm going to go all over. Now, if you want to just go over it with your wet glue on a fine glue applicator, if you would rather, that would work as well. But this way works just as well. Okay, I'm sticking to vellum, so this will stick brilliantly. But like I say, or you could do the last layer, or you could do them all. Cut them out from white card that's on the back of, adhesive sheets. Then they'd all stick together, and they'd look lovely. So I think that one flowers up. I think that's the up and that's the down. So I could go that way, but I'm just going to go I'm just going to bring it off the edges ever so slightly. I'm going to stick that down. Look at that. Stick beautifully. And then I thought, I've got a lovely sentiment. So proud of you. What a lovely thing for someone to say. So I'm going to go little bit of 3D glue, just raise it up at that end so that that can then go over there, just like that. So I've put a little bit of extra glue to count for the little lip. And then finally, you know me at the moment, I'm loving my gems. So do I want one? Oh, I'm going to go one down here. I'm going to get a larger one, just put it in the centre of my flower. Well, that looks nice, isn't it? I'm going to get another larger one, put it in the centre of that flower, and then going to get a couple of my smaller ones, not my smallest, but my penultimate size. I can put one up here, and then one more, and you'll find the links to these on my Amazon page as well. And then we can put one down there. How about that? I am loving that. Now, that's the second one. So this is my Technique Tuesday, all about using your alcohol pens and your Isopropanol, your alcohol spray. So yeah, I thought that was a lovely Technique Tuesday to do. But this is my second card from my colour challenge. So have I met the brief? Have I got the oranges and blues? Remember, it's just a indication of colours. So yet they've come out slightly different because when I've added the alcohol, it's changed the colours. So that is today's card, and that is yesterday's card. Both of them different techniques, very different looks, but following that colour palette. What are you going to make? I can't wait to see. Please pop over to my Facebook page, Corrine Robinson. There will be a link on a post on there for you to put your pictures in the comments, and at the end of the month I will judge a winner and just send a little card and just a very small little gift from myself. So please take part in the colour challenge. I've loved this one. The colours just grabbed me. I really thought those were lovely. So until next time, please don't forget to subscribe. All the details are down in the bottom of the comments, and all the links that will help me to keep this page going. So thank you for every click and like and comment. I do try really hard to reply to all of your comments, because you don't know how much your support means to me. It means the world. So until next time, everyone, happy crafting, and let's see what you can create in that colour palette. I can't wait to see. Bye for now.